Hello student. So today I will help you to understand the integrity in the class 9 ICSE physics. Okay. So I know that you have covered the half yearly exam, the term 1, and in the term 2 will be around month of February for the ICSE students probably, right? So now we are planning to prepare for the term 2. Now I will help you how to prepare very well for the ICSE physics. So that let's understand what is the integrity in the physics. In class 9 we have started with the motion chapter. In motion we have learned about the three equation of motions, right? After that we have learned about the vertical motion, vertically downward motion, vertically upward motion. Then we have understand the different graphical relations between the the velocity, distance time graph, velocity time graph, acceleration time graph. This we learn, and also during that learning, that there is a little contribution from the mathematics part, like what is slope. So after that, in the next part, in the fourth chapter, you have learned about the Newton's three laws: Newton's first law, second law, and the third law. Right. So this you have learned. After that, you have learned like what are the contact force, what are the non-contact force. Now, non-contact force is a part, you heard the name of electrostatic force, the magnetic force, right? Now, after that you learn what is pressure, what are the derivation of pressure, then what is upthrust. Upthrust means, the upward force given by any fluid, in the upward direction, and what are the sources of upthrust, then what is the condition of floating, right? Archimedes law, Pascal law. Then you will be learning the sound and electricity and heat in the part 2, right? So here there are some integration. So if you know the integration, so it will be help you to learn easily the physics. So physics is a matter like purely conceptual. So and if you able to understand the concept, and if you able to have a daily culture, the daily examples in day-to-day life, that will really help you to grasp the physics and to answer different kind of questions. For example, whenever we are discussing about Newton's law, we are taking the cricket or football as an example. Whenever we are going for the motion, we are taking the example of a train starting from a particular station, moving with acceleration, the uniform velocity, then retardation, and stopping to the other station, right? So similarly, during the upthrust, what's happened? There is a word we learn, apparent weight. So apparent weight means what? Something having the actual weight, and apparent weight means force is coming from the downward in a fluid, right? So apparent weight is happening over there. Then in sound, what happened? We'll understand like what is the source of sound, what is sound wave, and what are the characteristics. So in ICSE, what happened starting from class 8. So this same chapter you have gone through. In class 8 also you are going through this chapter. In some schools they are starting of class 9 during the class 8 standard, right? So for ICSE there is an integration from class 7 to class 8 to 9 to 10. Whatever you are going to learn in class 8, that same thing will be in more elastic way in class 10 to some extent, right? So in 9, so if you learn better than 9, then whoever is going for opting for the science, it will be helpful for them in the class 11. So whenever we are learning the class 9, sometimes you have to go for the advanced learning. For example, what is slope? So slope, is a part of straight line chapter in class 10 ICSE mathematics. So if you learn better about the slope in class 9, it will always be helpful for you to understand the the velocity time graph, and to get the velocity, to get the displacement, right? Okay. So now let me take some time in the sound. So what is sound? Sound is a wave. What kind of wave? It's a mechanical wave. So mechanical wave means it needs some media to propagate. Sound cannot travel without any medium. But if you say about the electromagnetic radiation, those are the wave, those does not need any medium to travel, right? Any radiations. But sound is a mechanical wave, so it needs a medium to travel. And now there could be a question like, the sound is traveling in solid, liquid and gas. So where the velocity of sound is higher? The velocity of sound is higher in solid, and then liquid, then the gas, right? Now the sound velocity of sound depends on different characteristics. Okay. Now what is the source of sound? That's the vibration. That's the vibration. When something is vibrating, the sound is producing, right? Now in class 11 you learn like what is simple harmonic motion. Okay. So in advanced part of 9 you can have some idea about what is simple harmonic motion. Anyway, that's a advanced part of advanced learning. Now in sound have some different characteristics. That time you know what is wavelength, what is the velocity, speed of sound. Now there is always a confusion like what is the relation between the speed of sound, the wavelength and the time period and the frequency. Okay, so let me show you a easier way how to remember that. Part of sound, like it's a wave, it's a sound wave, a single wave like this. So let's say this is the time, right? And this is the displacement. Okay. So this is a complete wave, and this will be the maximum amplitude, this will be the amplitude. Let's say it is A. So maximum displacement from the mean position is called amplitude. Okay. The length, so this is a one complete length. So of a complete wave, this length is called lambda, that is wavelength. Now how can I measure the speed of sound? So speed means what? We know that speed means what? Distance by time. So in case of sound, the distance is lambda, and we need the t time to travel this lambda. So t is the time period, the time required to complete one complete oscillations, right? So this is the time t. Now, so this is distance, this is time. So this will be the velocity of sound. So the speed or velocity of sound is lambda by t. Now we know that frequency is 1 by t. So we can write the velocity like frequency into lambda. Okay. So these things you are going to study multiple times. Sometimes you may forget, but if you go through a concept like this, you will not forget the part. Okay. So that means there are options of easy way of learning physics which will really save your time, and you will get more confidence on physics. So it will be high scoring for you during the exam, and also your revision, you can do the revision confidently and it will help you during your exam, right? So this is for sound. Okay. So now let me give you some basic on the the motion, the graphical relations. Okay. Let me show you. So let's see about the distance time graph. Okay. So distance time graph is, let's say this is time t, this is distance. So what are the graph we know? First thing is like that, this one. So this means with time the distance, let's say this is the 5, this is 0, this is 5. So let's say time is 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you have the stopwatch, you are measuring the time here 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. But my distance is not varying, it's 5, 5, 5. So time is progressing, but distance is not getting changed. That means if there is an object like this in a certain distance from here, let's say 5. So object is in rest. So rest means the position of the object is not changing with respect to some origin. So here if this is origin, this is the position of the object. So this distance is not getting changed with time. That means object at rest. Okay. So this way we have to understand. Now next is this object is moving. Object is moving. So what will happen? Object is moving means with respect to time, the position of the object getting changed. So let's say this is a straight line graph between distance and time. So object is moving means if you see when t was 1, this is the distance, t2, this is the distance, t is 3, this is the distance. So with time the position of the object is also getting changed. Okay. Now this straight line, you know that any straight line having a slope. So if the straight line having a fixed slope, that means the object, their object is moving equal interval of distance with equal interval of time. That means, you know, if I take this triangle, let's say this is A, B, C. So BC by AB, this ratio will be constant, and this is called slope. So ratio means interval of distance and interval of time. Similarly for here, if you take a triangle, so if this is, so this distance interval by time interval, it will be constant. So that's called slope. So slope having two interpretation. That there is a mathematical interpretation. Like slope means what? Slope means tan theta, means tan of the angle made by this line with positive x. If this is x-axis, for example, so from here it is a theta, right? Theta from here to the straight line. So it will be slope. This is a mathematical explanation. Okay. So slope means like in the alignment of a line with the positive x, with the x-axis in anti-clockwise direction. Positive angle means anti-clockwise direction, like this, anti-clockwise. So this is slope. So this slope is, you know, we are using here during the during the any graphical relation for like distance time. Same we will be using for, you know, velocity time graph. So let me show you how we are using the slope in the velocity time graph. What is happening here, like this is time t and this is velocity. So this is, if this is a straight line, that means it will present the acceleration. So velocity time graph. So here also what happened, like this, you know, different time t1, this is, you know, v1, then if this is t2, then this is v2. So what will be slope here? Slope means if this is, you know, let's say this interval is v2 minus v1 and this will be t2 minus t1. So slope will be difference in y-axis, v2 minus v1 by t2 minus t1. So this will be the slope, and this slope will be constant for the straight line. So that prove that this is an, you know, there is a velocity changing with time and it's a constant acceleration graph. So acceleration is not getting changed here. Okay. So then it will be a straight line. If acceleration change, this will be a curved line. Right? This way. Now one more thing I want to say, that there is a mathematical relation, like, you know, distance time graph for acceleration. Object in, you know, constant acceleration. This will be like this. So this is t and this is s. So this is a graphical nature. This is a curved graph. When the relation is like s is equal to ut plus half a t square. So it's a graph of accelerating motion, constant acceleration. So it's a parabolic graph. Parabolic means s is proportional to t square. Okay. So this is a parabolic in nature. And when we are going to learn parabola in mathematics? In class 11. But there is a relation. So if you have some basic idea of parabola, then it will be easier for you to remember. See, remember the things mean if you grow your knowledge more, if you learn bit more about particular chapter, then it will always help you to remember. So that means you are engaging more time to understand a particular part, like graphical relation, like equation of motions. If you engage more time, if you have some basic good learning, then definitely you don't have to struggle to remember the things and you will get good marks. Okay. So I think that's it for today. Okay. Thank you. Just I'll come with another other videos in the next session. Okay. Okay. Thank you.